Hello everyone, welcome to Everything Football and welcome back to the Champions League Fantasy Tips Show. I said welcome back, but this could be your first time. So if this was your first time or this is your first time, welcome to the channel. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to hit the like button if this video is of any help. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about the wildcard. If anyone is playing the wildcard in match day 4, if you're planning to play a wildcard for match day 4, this is the video for you. So remember, if you already played your limitless chip and you're planning to play a wildcard right now, basically you have to be very careful because this is basically the team that is taking you to the end of the group stage, because you'll now not have any other chips to turn on or to depend on. You'll literally have this team and a couple of more transfers to take you to the end of the group stage. So make your decisions wisely, and I'm here to help you with that. So I've picked up a couple of players, or I've picked up for you the one of my best wildcard drafts according to me for match day 4, match day 5, and match day 6. This is specifically for match day 4, but this team should be able to take you to the end of match day 6. So as always, if you haven't joined the league yet, make sure to join it. The direct link will be in the description, the first link, but the code is 83UVQC0A09. So yeah, without wasting any more time, let's get straight into it. So I did obviously some research on all these players, who has the best fixtures between now and match day 6, which groups are still tight and which groups still need to be decided. And I've gone for a really different team from what we've been seeing from the first 3 match days. So the first thing you'll notice is the strikers. The strikers are very cheap. I've not gone for the big hitters. I'll give you the reasons for that. Make sure to stick to the end. And also Salah, for example, has to be in everyone's team, whether you're playing a limitless chip, whether you're playing your wildcard in match day 4, match day 2, match day 6, it does not matter. You just need Salah in your team. You'll also notice a couple of City players there. Some other teams, you might not see their players included. So I'll give you the reasons for that. So let's start with the defense. Let's start with the goalkeepers to be specific. So Edouard Mendy goes into my team. If you're playing your wildcard right now, Mendy has to be in your team. They do have a good away game away to Malmo. They'll also have a game against Zenit later on, and they also have a home game against Juventus. So you cannot put it past Chelsea to keep a clean sheet in that game. So I think they have very good fixtures. So I've gone for Mendy, and you can also see I've gone for Azpilicueta. So in case there's any rotation, in case Azpilicueta doesn't start a game, at least you do have a clean sheet. You can still get the clean sheet from the goalkeeper. And if they keep the clean sheet and they both start, you get extra points, basically. So Mendy and Azpilicueta included for me from Chelsea. As you can see, Mendy will cost you 6.1, and Azpilicueta will cost you 1 million less, 5.3, 0.8 million less, so 5.3. And then the other goalkeeper is Destanoglu. As you can see on the bench, I have Destanoglu. I think he's a really cheap goalkeeper. Yes, his team has not done very well. He plays for Besiktas. His team has not done very well, but I think he's a good backup. I think he's a good backup, and we're hoping, obviously, we will not be needing him. We are hoping Mendy does keep 2 or at least from 3 clean sheets available to him between now and the end of the group stage. And then for the rest of the defenders, Kimmich, as I said, since match day 1, you just simply have to have Kimmich in your team. He has the attacking potential. He gets a lot of recovery points. He gets a clean sheet points if they do. He plays in midfield. So he's a good option, and he plays for Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich have Benfica next, a team they trashed by 4 goals. They'll also be hosting Barcelona. Barcelona is not doing well at all. They'll also have an away game to Dynamo Kiev, so I cannot complain about those fixtures, fixtures for Bayern. And then Diego Carlos, obviously 4.7 million, plays for Sevilla. His fixtures are also quite good. Like, he'll face, obviously, the likes of Lille, Wolfsburg one more time. They kept a clean sheet last time out. So from those 3 games, I'd expect at least 1 clean sheet. Not the best, but he always picks up recovery points, and that is what I like from him. So if he ends up keeping a clean sheet, you're in for a double figure haul. And then the last 2 defenders, Skriniar of Inter Milan, I've put him there because I had him in my limitless cheap team in match day 2, and he did very well. He did very well. He got player of the match, surprisingly for me. Kept a clean sheet against I think it was Shakhtar. yeah, so he did very, very well for me in that match day. So going forward, they have a home game against Shakhtar. They will have an away game next up against Sheriff. So I think their fixtures are quite good. Obviously, the last game will be away to Real Madrid, not the best, but at least hoping for a couple of clinches in the next 2 games from Skriniar. It costs a lot of money, 5.6 million, but I think it's worth it. The rest of the defenders, the likes of Damian and those kind of players, a lot of rotation. You really never know who's going to play, so I prefer Skriniar. And then the last defender is Joao Cancelo. I talked about him when I did the I talked about it in another video in terms of the players we need to be watching for match day 4. So I'll link it up in the YouTube card right now. You'll see it popping up right now. I talked about 2 players you need to be targeting for match day 4, and Cancelo is one of them. His stats are incredible. He's played every single minute this season. And I think with PSG coming up in a home game, they also have Club Brugge next. They also have a game against Leipzig, not the easiest of games. And that is why you definitely expect him to start. Against PSG, for example, you definitely expect Cancelo to start because it's a big game for them. We didn't expect him to get rested for that one. So that is why I've included him. He's already scored 2 goals as well. And that same applies the same to Foden. Phil Foden, we are now going into the midfielders. We'll start with Foden because we just from speaking about Cancelo. Same. They have a game against PSG. You'd expect him to start in that one. A game against Leipzig, you'd expect him to start in that one. He's been doing quite well as well in the Premier League, so he's my midfielder. He's one of the cheapest midfielders from City. Obviously, the rest of like De Bruyne and Mahrez are pretty expensive. Foden will cost you 8 million. He might not start all 3 games, but at least expect him to start 2. So that is the first midfielder. The next midfielder is Leroy Sane, the guy who has scored the most points so far this season. 16 points and 18 points in match day 2 and 3. Scores goals, assists. Again, just like Kimmich, the same fixtures, pretty good. Again, I think he'll definitely start at least 2 of those games. Unless they go through by the final game, then you could expect him to be rested. 9.1 million. I've talked about Salah. You really need to have him in your team. He has scored in 10 consecutive games. You can expect him to go on and go on. Don't expect him to rest in any of the Champions League games. And the next midfielder is Danjuma of Villarreal, a guy, one of the guys who's commenting on my videos a couple of weeks ago actually mentioned him. At that time, I'd not looked at him quite much because he had just played against United. I know he picked up an assist in that game, but the way they trashed Young Boys last time out, Young Boys is still to play them. United will also travel to Villarreal. United have a terrible defense. I think they've get like 1 clean sheet in like 15 games or something. So Danjuma is a threat, and he's 6.2 million, and he's started 2 of the 3 games so far. I'm not sure he missed the first one, but you'd expect him to start the next 2 or the next 3 as well. So he plays for Villarreal. And then the last midfielder is an enabler. Sewald plays in the same team as Adeyemi. You can see up front. So Sewald is just an enabler, 4.6 million. I think he's done well in terms of recovery points so far this season. Most of us went for Alvarez at the beginning of the season, but I think it's great to be different for the next 2-3 game weeks. So Sewald is there. And then in terms of striking, as you can see, I've gone very, very cheap. I have gone very, very cheap in terms of striking. And that is because from the 10 strikers this season to score the most points, the top 10 strikers in terms of most points, you'll only find 4 big hitters. That is Lewandowski, Ronaldo, just barely because he scored in almost all the games, but his team has not been doing well. You'll also, the likes of Lukaku, we expected to be there. They're not in that list. So in that top 10, in terms of most points for strikers this season, you find the likes of Adeyemi, the likes of Haller, Vinicius. So strikers who cost you only 7 million, 8 million, 9 million. The ones who are at 11 million, 12 million, the likes of Jesus from City, 10 million around there, Firmino, 9 million, 10 million. The likes of Mbappe and Messi have done okay, but not what we expected from them. Basically, all the expensive strikers, it could be a myth. None of them has really excelled apart from Lewandowski. So the cheaper strikers are doing the job, almost similar job, doing better than them. Someone like Adeyemi has done better than all of them. So Adeyemi is there, Vinicius as well, and Antony. I think Ajax have been scoring a bunch of goals. They scored 4 against Dortmund. They scored 5 against Sporting, and Antony has been involved in assists and goals. Vinicius as well. Next up, they also have a game against Shakhtar at home, who they trashed by 5 goals last time out. 4-5. They'll also have another home game later on, and he's cheaper than Benzema, another one who has not really delivered this season, just like Lukaku of Chelsea, and Adeyemi, who has been magnificent this season. So that is how the wildcard draft is looking like. That is my best wildcard team I could pick out. Let me know if you like that team. Are there any changes you'd make? Are there any players you'd prefer? There's obviously the kind of, if you're playing your wildcard this time around and you don't like this team and you prefer the players, you could go for Rudiger instead of Azpilicueta, for example. You could decide to go for Courtois instead of Mendy if you prefer. If you want Lewandowski in your team, you could maybe take out Anthony and then drop Sane to a cheaper midfielder. A lot of ways you could go, but for me, this is what I am looking at for game week 4. So Anthony, Adeyemi, and Vinicius up front, Sane, Salah, Danjuma, Foden, and Sewell as the midfielders, Skriniar, Kimmich, Azpilicueta, Carlos, and Cancelo as the defenders, and Mendy and Noglu as the goalkeeper. So that is how it's looking like. Make sure to hit the like button if this video is of any help. I've also done one talking about the best limitless draft for match day 4. I'll link it up in the YouTube card right now. Make sure to go and check it out if you're playing your limitless, people thinking about wildcard or limitless decision to play. Maybe that could help you after you watch this one as well. Thank you for sticking to the end. I really appreciate it. Again, make sure to join the league. I'll also be live on Tuesday right before the matches, like right before the deadline. Make sure to check it out. Make sure to join me. You can be taking a look at your teams. You can ask all the questions you want. There's still more videos coming up between now and Tuesday, so make sure to subscribe. And yeah, I'll definitely catch up with you guys on the next one. Make sure to take care, and thanks for watching. Peace.